Welcome to the Mount Pleasant Podcast, featuring discussions and interviews about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant such a special place.
This is the Mount Pleasant Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Cleary, and all thanks to the great people of Mount Pleasant Magazine, I get the honor, the privilege of introducing you to Mount Pleasant, the people who make it such a special place to do business, to work, and even to live. We're introducing you to Mount Pleasant's best on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Today on the Mount Pleasant Podcast, we're talking about music. Love music. Who doesn't love music? Can you play music yourself, though? That's the question, and we're going to get an answer and maybe get you even instructed in doing that from an expert. I'm Brian Cleary, and Matt McFarland is the part owner, manager of School of Rock here in Mount Pleasant. So, Matt, let's start here. Give me a good reason. Obviously, to learn any instrument, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take effort, some patience. Why is it that either I or one of my children should learn to play a musical instrument?
Yeah, well, so there's a lot of great, actual reasons to learn music. It definitely helps with the brain and development and everything. What I will say, because you mentioned, it takes a lot of time, our whole program actually cuts down on that time, puts you right into a band, and actually gets you learning right away with other students that are along the same journey as you are. So you'll learn a lot faster. You'll have a lot more fun doing performance-based music lessons in a band. You'll be playing in a band from day one, and then being able to have that growth through music. And the benefits of learning music is totally goes outside of the actual music side of things. Helps in school, helps kids, stay on track, stay out of trouble, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, let's start back at the beginning. So I've decided, or my son or daughter, I'm thinking, I want them to play a musical instrument. How do I decide which one it is that I should start on?
So that's a great question. What we do, we offer free 30-minute lessons for you to check out all of our instruments. We actually offer, if you wanted to try all 5 instruments that we offer, which is guitar, drums, bass, keys, and vocals, you could come in for a free 30-minute lesson on each of those. Try it out, get a free lesson. In 30 minutes, you'll learn how to play a song. And then you'll be able to tell from there, for the most part, which one you're most interested in, which one you want to learn going forward, and which one you want to be cast into a band on that instrument.
So I'm kind of an impatient person. I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Come in for the free lesson. Within 30 minutes, I'll be able to play a song?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. So we have a patented curriculum through School of Rock because we're a franchise. The way we teach is very different. We teach what's called song first. So you'll come in and in 30 minutes, we'll teach you how to play a song. It'll be bare bones of the song, depending on skill level. We'll kind of work up from there. But even if you've never touched an instrument, we'll get you behind the kit or, sitting down with a guitar or bass or singing. And you'll be playing a song in 30 minutes. And then from there, once you sign up and take lessons going forward, we'll go back and teach you the theory behind what you were playing. And that's our whole curriculum throughout throughout the whole journey of School of Rock is song first. So we don't do the basics of, all right, here's, each string, here's all this. We do it the opposite, where we'll be playing, all right, you're playing TNT, play TNT, got it. All right, what you're playing is these chords. And then kind of throw in the theory behind that. So it's very similar to learning a language. The best way to learn a language is to get thrown into it and kind of learn as you go, as opposed to, learn the alphabet and learn all that, go through all this. It's, you want to get thrown into it, and having that, rehearsals every week and learning with other people, making mistakes with other people is the best way to learn. And that's our whole curriculum. So, yeah.
So I guess you've answered the question, because my girlfriend's brother's cousin's friend plays in a band. He's a great guitarist, and he said he'd teach me to learn. I guess the process is a little different than he may have, and that's why I should be interested in, or at least take the time to have a conversation with someone from School of Rock.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's funny because we hear that almost the exact same, connection there with somebody that, that has tried teaching you, or my favorite one is, well, we took keyboard lessons or piano lessons from the old lady down the street, and she came into our house and she did, the traditional lessons. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm falling asleep. You just telling me this. Why would a kid that's 8 years old want to learn how to play piano doing that? They come in here, and like I said, day one, they're playing in a band, they're playing a song, they're playing rock music, which is so fun. It's, it's such a better way of learning, to be with other people, other kids playing in a band setting. And then, again, it's a faster way of learning, more engaging way. we found that what we're teaching actually sticks a lot better in their brains because they're putting it to use. They'll come in for a lesson once a week, learn how to play a song, and then rehearsal a couple days later. When you're rehearsing that with other kids, you're putting it to use. Like you're actually using that knowledge, which just helps it stick a lot better. And then the whole fun part, which is what we are. We're performance-based, so we want kids actually performing. So we just had shows last week at Windjammer. We do seasonal shows, and kids get up on stage and they actually perform a show. 4 months ago, they've never even touched an instrument. They didn't even know what a bass guitar was. And then, last week they were up on stage playing at Windjammer, where a lot of big names play in the area. So it's really fun and great confidence builder, of course. Having kids get up on stage in front of, hundreds of people is daunting, right? Especially kids, later on in life when they're, high school, they do that. Like, what's junior year speech class at that point, right? Like, no big deal. Like, I just went up there and I just shredded on guitar in front of hundreds of people. That's amazing. So I can do anything.
And I know some musician friends of mine who would die to get on stage at the Windjammer and never been able to be there. School of Rock has already been there. It's amazing.
Podcasting has exploded in popularity, especially local podcasts. As of 2022, 62% of Americans have listened to a podcast. 38% have listened in the last month. 26% in the last week. The podcasting audience is booming with no signs of slowing down. Call the podcast hotline to be featured on these podcasts or to receive information about podcast marketing. Call 843-530-0403 or visit carolinapodcasts.com.
You're listening to the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
Matt McFarland is our guest today here on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. I'm Brian Cleary. Matt is the manager and part owner of the School of Rock location in Mount Pleasant. It's interesting, Matt, that you talked about, because I think I have it as in my head, and a lot of people would. Maybe they saw it in a TV show, in a movie. There's that kid who's inside. It's a sunny day. He's trying to learn chopsticks on the piano, and outside his friends are running around, having fun and a good time. So it seems like a great thing, and it's got to be good for you, the fun aspect of your job. And it seems like you've put the fun back in to learning music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what we found is a lot of our students here, they've tried to fit in, at these big schools, big middle schools, high schools. It's hard to fit in, right? There's so many kids there. They may have tried sports. They've tried soccer, didn't like it, tried baseball, didn't like it. And then they come here and we call it the team sports of music, right? You're not just playing by yourself. You are with a team, with a band. You are all trying to get that common goal of playing up on stage in 3 months. So it's really cool. And it's way more than just the music. It's more about the community as well. So we tell every tour that we get that comes in, we'll tell them, hey, like, if you sign up here, your kid gets the space. Like, drop them off an hour early, have them hang out an hour later, like have them come when they don't have lessons, because this is their space. There's going to be other kids here, other musicians. Have them hang out and use it as their community space. And we want it to be a place where they can feel welcome. We're small enough where, even if we're big enough, our managers are trained to know every single student's first and last name, know what instrument they do, know what band they're in, know what school they go to. Every kid here is actually, or every student for that matter, is known and welcomed here because it's their space. And in a world that wants to tear us all apart, we are kind of the thing that we use music as bringing everybody together. So it's a really cool opportunity. And yeah, it's really fun. It's the best job ever. So
Matt, let me talk to parents right now, because they've got a son or daughter and they're thinking music lessons. So let's start. How young is it that I could take my son or daughter to School of Rock?
So currently we start at about 7. We are looking to get our rookies program, which is usually 5 to 6 and 7-year-olds. We're looking to get that back started up again. But currently about 7, 8 age range. Yeah.
And for mom or dad, you guys also do adult lessons as well.
We do. Absolutely. Yeah. Currently we have 2 adult programs here, 2 different bands. They just played last Sunday at My Father's Mustache in Mount Pleasant. And it's very similar to our student program where they take a private lesson once a week and then in a band rehearsal. And then they're going to play a show. So again, almost all of our adults have never touched an instrument. They've always wanted to learn, but just never had the confidence. We usually end up convincing them, like, at least try it, come in, do the free demo. There's no obligation. they try it, they see the band, and then they're hooked, right? Like it's rock music. Again, it's like, why couldn't you be hooked? Why wouldn't you be? It's amazing. You're playing with other people and getting to play up on stage, and it's super fun. So I wish our adult program was bigger. So anybody that's listening, like, absolutely come on in, try it out, do a free demo lesson. You're going to love it. A lot of adults are very nervous, which I get. But you know, it's just as fun. You're never too old for rock and roll.
Well, let me take that a step further, because I'm just a few years out of my teens, but I'm an adult now. And I think somewhere in the back of my head is that, you know, it's harder for an adult to learn an instrument than a child. Is that true?
It depends. I would say, I don't know the exact, you know, science behind it, I guess, but I would say it definitely seems that way. Even in my own experience, I used to do School of Rock when I was younger and feel like I grasped it a lot quicker and versus today. But it definitely depends. I mean, you're never too old to learn, honestly. One of our other schools, we've got somebody that's in their early 80s in the adult band and has never touched a guitar. And he just played a show a few weeks ago and he's killing it. So he's loving it. I would just say, I guess, like, don't count yourself out until you try it, because you never know. It can be more difficult, but the good thing with our adult program is they're all beginners, you know, so they're all at the same stage. So there's no rush. We're not trying to get you booked to play at Credit One Stadium or anything, you know, like we're doing some smaller stuff. It's not huge scale. If you wanted to go that route, then you could start your own band, you know, at that age, right? If you're out of school, you could do your own thing and get paid for it. So we're just trying to do, you know, have that opportunity for parents and adults to be able to come in and try out music on a smaller scale in a way that's more attainable, I guess, and not as high stakes.
So whether I come in as an adult or I send my son or daughter in for lessons, is it going to be one-on-one to start?
Yeah, it is. So it's one-on-one with the band rehearsal as well. So that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing that sets us apart is we don't do just the private lessons. So all of our students take a private lesson and then they're in a band rehearsal. And that's just back to the School of Rock philosophy of we're performance-based. We want students to play with other students. That's what we believe to be the best way to learn music, is to have the band and, you know, the shows coming up, all of that. If you want to invest money into learning an instrument, in our mind, that's the only way to go. So we don't offer just the private lessons. So let's say you come in and you do a free demo lesson, you end up signing up. All right, next week, you got a lesson on Tuesday and you got band rehearsal on Wednesday. You're starting the band rehearsal day one, whether you've touched an instrument or not. The good thing about our program is during that demo lesson, you'll learn a song that is attainable and be able to learn that and get the basics down to be able to learn that, so that when you come for rehearsal, you'll be ready to go. You won't be sitting there like, whoa, this is way too much. You've already got a song down. So you're good to go.
This is where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive. Thanks for joining me, Brian Cleary, today on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. We're talking with the manager and part owner of School of Rock in Mount Pleasant, because we decided at the Mount Pleasant Magazine we want to get a band together. So we went to the expert. Matt McFarland joins us. Now, Matt, I've been on your website, and I noticed kind of a coincidence that maybe you could explain for me, because there was a Steve McFarland, and then a Manny McFarland, and then a Matt McFarland. I thought, wow, this is kind of crazy. 3 people that all somehow have the same last name. How did you guys get together?
Yeah, coincidence, right? It was the McFarland convention. And so Mandy is my wife. My wife and I, Mandy, we run the school here. We're originally from Indiana. We actually moved down to South Carolina to open the school down here. And then my dad is Steve McFarland. And he was here for the grand opening. He dressed up as a Gene Simmons, as he always does. He was out on 17 waving to everybody, which is awesome. So my dad opened the first location of School of Rock in Indiana about 13 years ago, and then ended up opening 2 more in that area, and then wanted to expand out of Indiana. And luckily, my wife and I wanted some warmer weather. So we looked around and found some nice areas and realized, hey, out of the 330 locations worldwide, there are none in South Carolina. Let's go to South Carolina. Let's do one in Mount Pleasant. And Mount Pleasant is actually very similar demographically to Carmel, Indiana, which is where we're from. So we ended up moving down here and loving it. So that's the connection.
I don't want to say anything bad about the Hoosier State, but I have to know from personal experience anyway, the winter weather's way better here.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny. We've been here a year and a half, and last Christmas we went home and it was in the negatives, and there was ice coming through the outlets at my parents' house in Indiana. And it made me just absolutely love the decision that we made to move to South Carolina. And then we got back and people were like, yeah, our pipes were going to freeze. I'm like, you have no idea. Like got to like 30 degrees, like chill guys.
Well, I don't know who does your tour booking then. And I understand wanting to be home for the holidays, but if I'm going back to Indiana, I'm thinking May, June rather than December.
Totally. Yeah. I think everybody's going to come down here this Christmas because it's going to be way better weather down here. So
tell me a little bit about your musical background. We know you're from Indiana now, but in terms of School of Rock and what you bring personally to the school.
I was a student at School of Rock back in Indiana when I was in high school. I did it for about 2 years and played drums. Loved it. Loved School of Rock. Loved the philosophy of it. I was more into sports when I was in high school. So I was kind of more along that route. Ended up going to school for video production once I graduated. Started working for the Indianapolis Colts in Indiana, did some video production for them and loved it. Thought it was my dream job. Thought I had hit the jackpot working for my favorite football team, doing what I love, which is video. Then ended up getting let go unexpectedly and filling in at Carmel School of Rock, and just felt like totally lost. But from day one working at School of Rock, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? What are we doing? Like, I didn't see this when I was here in high school. It's just like, you just get that feeling from even just stepping through the door. Like, this is more than music. We're changing kids' lives. We are just making kids more confident. We're teaching them music, which is freaking awesome. Getting to play Kiss and AC/DC and Led Zeppelin, all the Beatles, all this stuff. Like, that's such a cool vehicle to reach these students that are, also lost. Right. So, it's such a cool, bigger experience. So anyway, I kind of fell into it, ended up wanting to stay there at School of Rock. And, what I thought was just filling in, realized like, no, I think this is actually way better than what I was doing at the Colts, which is weird because that doesn't feel right. So I ended up moving up from there and ended up renting a location in Indiana with Mandy, my wife. And then the opportunity came to move down here and open this school. So I've been to School of Rock for about 5 years now. I am, in my opinion, the biggest School of Rock fan there is. My wife jokes that my closet is like a superhero, where you pull out a shirt and it's School of Rock. I don't have any other option. It's a School of Rock shirt. There's no other option. That's all I've got. I've got School of Rock Converse on. I love it. And that's just the coolest thing about School of Rock is it's such a big community here locally, but also with the 330 plus locations worldwide. You can talk to anybody at School of Rock and they're all just as passionate, not as passionate as me, but close to it. And they're all passionate about what we do. And it's just such a cool community. We reach out to other schools across the world constantly to ask for advice, and we're all in communication. It's just such a cool experience to have that opportunity to talk to other franchisees, but also have the franchise of School of Rock involved with us so much and be able to support us so much. So that was totally off topic of what you asked, what I bring.
It's just cool to see that you are living what you're saying, because you're rocking a School of Rock t-shirt, and you're one of the few people, I guess, who could say, look, I've had not one, my dream job, but actually two, working for the Colts. And now School of Rock. And when you talk about the communal experience, getting together with a band, it's one of the things that impresses me about School of Rock. But the other things, two things that I've noticed. One, so you're putting together a band needs a lead singer. You guys offer vocals as one of the things that you can help teach at School of Rock. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not just instruments. Yeah, we do vocal lessons as well. And that's just as important. Yeah, we teach how to sing, obviously how to sing effectively and healthy, keep your voice healthy, and but also how to be the front man or front woman of the band, right? You got to have stage presence and lead the band. And that's the other part of what we do, is being in the band, getting ready for the show and getting ready to perform. It's just as important, right? So it doesn't stop with going to the show and like, okay, cool, you guys played, now let's move on. What we always say is we don't teach to put on shows. We put on shows to teach. So going up on stage and your amp's turned off, your settings are off, or your mic's off, like, what do you do? How do you come back from that? How do you move on from that? How do you move on to the next song? How do you do transitions? How do you pump the crowd up? All of that totally goes into what we do. It's way more than just teaching you to get up on stage and like perform, so it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool
and if somebody wants to check out what you've got going on, you can go to the School of Rock website, where it also lists as one of the skills that you guys offer at School of Rock, songwriting. How does that come about?
Yeah, we do songwriting. It's a little bit different than our typical program. It's actually an add-on program where we do, you'll be in our performance program doing what we typically do, but then there's also an option to do the songwriting program, where you'll come in and we'll have with the director, work on a song, work on how to go through that process, the creative process of writing your own song and getting all the parts for it. And then we actually also do that with summer camp also. So a very similar thing where it's just a week-long songwriting camp. But both options where we'll have you actually perform those songs that you wrote with the other members of the band, where they'll all learn each other's songs and go through that creative process, how to get through that, and how to jump over those hurdles of songwriting. Yeah, it's a great program.
Today on the Mount Pleasant podcast, we're talking with Matt McFarland, who's with the School of Rock here in Mount Pleasant. As always, through Mount Pleasant Podcast and Mount Pleasant Magazine, we do what we can to introduce you to the businesses in Mount Pleasant, as well as the people. Matt and his wife are owners and also manage the School of Rock here in Mount Pleasant. So, Matt, one thing's going through everybody's head, so I have to ask you about it. We've all seen the movie School of Rock. So tell me, is there something when I go to your location in Mount Pleasant that I would experience that's in the movie School of Rock? I have to think there's a few things that are in the movie that you guys don't actually do. So what's in the movie that maybe I can't experience at School of Rock?
Yeah, so it's funny. We get that question all the time. Of course, the biggest question is like, where's Jack Black? Is Jack Black here in the building? So it's funny because the movie is actually based on the business. The business has been around since 1998. So even before the Jack Black movie came out. It's actually very similar. It's a great connection. We love when parents ask that because there are a lot of similarities. The movie is based on the actual person that started School of Rock, where he was teaching students to play, teaching them privately, and then realized like, why don't we put these kids together and put them together and realize like, wow, they're not very good playing together. We should do this more often. We should have them rehearse weekly and, kind of building the whole curriculum of School of Rock that way, getting them together, playing, and then realizing like, okay, now they're learning really fast. So we're kind of onto something. There was actually a documentary made about him, which the network ended up picking up. And anyway, long story short, yeah, movie's based on the business, but it's an awesome connection. We love it. It's a great thing to kind of spur that conversation of like why they're similar and what makes them similar. But yeah, in terms of the movie where he puts them together, puts them in bands, teaches them, puts them up on stage and puts them up on stage and has them actually perform. And it's so much fun, right? That's what kids want to do. They want to perform. They don't want to be stuck in the basement with the old lady playing piano, playing, classical songs. They want to perform. That's every, quote unquote, every kid's dream, right? To be in a rock band and be the rock star up on stage. So, yeah.
My next opportunity to see some talent from School of Rock. Have you got things listed in terms of what performances are coming up sometime this fall, and where can people come out? Because I have to think if you would see a School of Rock performance, that may be another thing to make me want to go, yeah, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point, right? We want to put kids up on stage. So getting to see all the hard work for the past 4 months is the thing to see. So anytime there's a show, definitely come out, check it out. It'll blow you away. Some of these kids that are 8 years old that have never touched an instrument, they're up there rocking Seven Nation Army, TNT. It's awesome. We have shows. We'll have our final shows in December, and then also some of our like halfway preview shows, September, October timeframe. But all those details are on our website, and we'll have all the show details on there. And it's amazing. We're still trying to finalize our venue for the final shows, but when we do, we'll put it on there. And, we want to give the actual rock star experience. It's the biggest thing that sets us apart is we don't do recitals. We're not going to do a recital where there's an instructor up on stage playing with the kid. It's all student led at Windjammer, right? Like awesome rock venue. We're not going to do it at, a theater or anything like that. So it's always going to be a fun, high energy where, again, 8-year-olds are dyeing their hair pink and putting up mohawks, and it's awesome. It's totally unwarranted. It's just like they do it. It's awesome. So it's a really cool sight to see. Yeah.
At what level in my instruction am I going to learn how to play the guitar with my teeth?
Yes, that is, I think, step 4 or 5, maybe. Okay. I can't remember. I'd have to check. Yeah, but it is in there. Yes.
Well, that's got to be the coolest thing. Right? I mean, for these kids and adults as well, to be able to have that opportunity to perform. And I guess from your standpoint, you're the guy looking up on stage and going, hey, this is what we do. And the passion and energy that you bring to it comes through. So for somebody who's watching our podcast, listening to our podcast today, the first step that I should take if I'm interested, or I think my son or daughter's interested, what should that be?
Yeah, first step, I would say go to our website, give us a call, set up the free demo lesson. Even if you're unsure, that's what the free demo lesson is for. We want to give everybody the opportunity to at least see our program, understand it a little bit better. It's really hard to explain our program. It makes way more sense when you see it, right? So when you come in for the 30-minute lesson and you walk in and we say, hey, we're going to teach you a song today. You go, yeah, right. What are you talking about? I've never touched an instrument. 30 minutes later, you go, whoa, wow, you actually taught me. That's awesome. That's really cool. And then see our space, see, exactly what we do. Come to see a show. That's the best way to do it. Our Instagram has all photos from our shows and everything. But yeah, step 1, set up the free demo lesson. We'll get you in here, free 30-minute lesson where we're going to teach you a song. We'll give you a tour of the space and explain more about our program and kind of show you it, which is a really cool opportunity.
And Matt, for people who aren't aware of where your space is in Mount Pleasant off Highway 17, where are you located at?
Yes, so we are right in front of Town Center, right next to Jersey Mike's. We actually share a wall with Jersey Mike's, right by the IOP connector in 17.
Food and rock and roll go together. There's your catering.
That's right
next door. It's kind of cool how you plan that out. Go see Matt McFarland and his team. School of Rock, one of the businesses here in Mount Pleasant. It's just a way we introduce you to what's going on and who's going on in Mount Pleasant. If you've ever just even thought about learning a musical instrument, School of Rock is the place to go. Matt McFarland, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
School of Rock, our guest today. This is where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive. We appreciate you joining us for the Mount Pleasant Podcast. I'm Brian Cleary. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for spending your time with the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Your community, your podcast. Listen to past and future episodes at mountpleasantpodcast.com.